My pleasure to shortly introduce Hannah Blythyn, Deputy Minister for Social Partnership, to open the debate. Hannah.
Thanks, Nick. We did quite the build-up then by accident, so hopefully I can live up to it now. Conference, it's a privilege to stand here and speak today as part of a Welsh Labour Government that's committed to social, economic and environmental justice. As many speakers have said this weekend, this is the first time in so long that we've been able to come together like this at our conference. There can be no doubt that the past couple of years have been difficult and different for each and every one of us as we've had to rise to the many challenges of the coronavirus pandemic. Conference, we heard in the Chulo report yesterday the difference of being able to work together in partnership made to workers, workplaces and our country during the pandemic. Social partnership has very much become a Welsh way of working over the course of devolution, born out of a much earlier crisis, and its value came to the fore over the last couple of years. However, when I first became Deputy Minister for Social Partnership, people would say to me, congratulations on your new role, and that's great, and there'd be an awkward silence, and then they'd say, but what does that mean? Essentially, it's about working together, government, trade unions and employers to seek solutions to the collective challenges that we face, making sure that workers' voices and experience are front and centre through their trade unions. By the strength of our common endeavour, we achieve more than we achieve alone. Conference, I'd like to take this opportunity to place on record our thanks to the trade union members, reps and officials who have worked and continue to work day in, day out, making a difference in workplaces and communities across the country. Thank you. Conference, I'm proud to be a trade unionist. I went into the Senate of the trade unionist and I will stay a trade unionist. The trade union movement not only shaped my values, it helped give me my voice. And I remember not too many years ago being in the same hall speaking as a trade union delegate on the difference that social partnership makes and its uniqueness to Wales. So fast forward a few years and the First Minister's asked me to take through legislation that puts social partnership on the statute book. The Social Partnership and Public Procurement Bill will put social partnership on a more formal footing with a statutory social partnership council, and it will place a social partnership duty on certain public bodies, strengthen socially responsible procurement and support a new fair work duty. There has never been a more important time to take forward this landmark legislation. Whilst the coronavirus pandemic has demonstrated different ways of working are possible and opened up a debate about future ways of working in our communities, it has also brought sector-wide challenges into sharper focus and shone a spotlight on pernicious practices like fire and rehire. How can it be right that an employer can then sack and then re-employ someone on lower terms and conditions? It's immoral, it's unethical and it's unacceptable. Apparently, the Prime Minister has said that fire and rehire is unacceptable, but guess what he and his Conservative government have done about it? You're right, absolutely nothing. But given the track record the Conservatives have when it comes to rolling back workers' rights, it's sadly unsurprising. Indeed, when I made the statement on the development of the Social Partnership and Public Procurement Bill in the Senate chamber, my Welsh Conservative counterpart dusted off decades-old playbooks of typical Tory attacks on trade unions and the Trade Union Labour Party link. Although I have to say, Conference, I think some of my trade union comrades secretly enjoyed being labelled union gods. But Conference, for the avoidance of doubt, this Welsh Labour Government believes trade unions are good for workers and good for Wales. The Social Partnership and Public Procurement Bill has the potential to be a groundbreaking piece of legislation and is part of the Welsh Labour Government's ambition to use all the levers at our devolved disposal to create a Wales of fair work. A nation where everyone has the chance to achieve, to be fairly rewarded, to be heard and represented, have their rights respected, to be secure and feel safe. That's why I'm pleased to say we support the compensated motions to Caerphilly Women's Forum and Unite the Union. Work isn't fair if a worker doesn't feel safe at work or has a safe and accessible means of getting to and from work, whatever the time of day or night. An employer has a responsibility of care to make sure those in employment can get home safely. The Welsh Labour Government will work with Unite to explore all we can do in this area, such as our transport reforms and the potential powers that exist through licensing. The majority of women here, if not all, myself included, will have been in a situation where we felt unsafe or uncomfortable, whether we were out or about or on a night out. It's happened many times and it happens far too often. Enough is enough. For too long, this has conditioned our lives. The Welsh Labour Government's new violence against women, domestic abuse and sexual violence strategy, led by my colleague Jane Hutt, sets out how the Welsh Government and our partners will work together to address issues such as street safety, safety in the public realm and safety in the workplace. The national strategy will also expand the Ask and Act and Don't Be a Bystander training and awareness campaigns, and will be the means to make good on our programme for government commitment to make Wales the safest place in Europe to be a woman. Our workplaces and our communities face many challenges as we emerge from the shadow of the coronavirus pandemic into the coming cost of living storm. But we know here in Wales that as a Labour movement, we are stronger together, and together in partnership and the spirit of collectivism, we can continue to change our country for the better and win for workers and win for Wales. Diolch yn fawr iawn.
Thank you, Hannah.